Hello and welcome back. I missed you guys. No, I really do miss you. My life is so boring and meaningless without you. I can't wait to see you guys next semester. I hope you'll come in and say hello to me. Okay, so chapter 13, right? So hopefully you already watched the other video where I explained the magic rules for the gerund, when to use the gerund and when to use the infinitive. Um, so here we're going to go through the way that the book explains it and just do some practice because the book gives you like exercises to practice every single one. So starting off chapter 13, right? Page 342, we have that box, right? That box that we saw in the other, which was verbs that we always use with the gerund after, okay? So once again, I recommend that you memorize these. I already talked about it in the other video, so I'm not going to talk about it here. We're just going to dive in and practice. Looking at exercise 2, which is at the bottom of page 342, and then it goes on to the next page, 343. So they give you several verbs in the box, and they want you to use them to complete the sentence, okay? So number 1, it says, the boys own a bakery. They work 7 days a week and they're very tired. They're thinking about. So thinking about is a verb. It's also after a preposition, actually. So we have they're thinking about working fewer hours a day. They're thinking about closing their shop for a few weeks and going on vacation and hiring more workers for their shop. Okay, easy enough. Joseph wants to live a healthier life. He made several New Year's resolutions. For example, he has to quit smoking cigars. Disgusting. Cigars are so gross anyways. That would be an easy thing to do. He has to quit eating high-fat foods and sleeping until noon on weekends. I'm not sure why sleeping until noon is unhealthy, but I guess according to our grammar book it is. All right, Martin is a procrastinator. Oh, sorry, Martina is a procrastinator. What is a procrastinator? I am a procrastinator sometimes. A procrastinator is somebody who waits until the last minute to do something. And sometimes because they're always waiting, if they have something they need to do or an assignment they need to do or a bill they need to pay, they don't do it immediately. They just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait until maybe they have a few minutes left and then they do it, right? And sometimes when we do this, we miss our deadlines. It's kind of a drag. Okay, so she puts off paying her bills, handing in her assignments to her teacher, and cleaning her apartment. Okay? So this is all pretty easy because we automatically know, because this is section 3.1, that these are all going to be the gerund, right? Verb ing. All right, so let's look at exercise 3. They want you to complete each of the sentences with a gerund, and there are multiple sentence or options of verbs that you can use available. I added a couple different answers for each one, but if I didn't include one, I'm sure there are other choices. It's just a matter of vocabulary, right? Whatever word you prefer to use. Okay, so we discussed going or driving to the ocean for our vacation. The porter's car is too small for their growing family. They're considering getting or buying a bigger one. When Martha finished, I said sweeping, cleaning, or mopping the floor. She dusted the furniture. Beth doesn't like her job. She's talking about finding or getting, or you could say looking for a different job. Are you listening to me? Yes, keep talking. I am listening. All right, do you want to take a break? No, I'm not tired yet. Let's keep on working. Let's keep on studying for another hour or so. And would you mind opening or closing the window? No problem. I'm hot too. So I guess it depends, right? If you want to turn on the AC, you would close the window and turn on the AC. If you are from California like I am, did you know we don't have AC in California? Even though it gets hot, it gets like 27 or 28 degrees, but we just deal with it because AC is expensive actually. Okay, so that's it for 3.2. For 3.1. Let's go ahead and take a look at 3.2. So 3.2 is also something that I think is very simple. They just have different activities that are collocated. That means they go with the word go, right? Here we have some examples. Go boating, go bowling, go camping, dancing, fishing, blah, 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 blah. Any of these words, if you're not sure of the meaning of them, I would recommend that you pause the video right now and look them up because we're going to use them for the next activity, okay? All right, so practice with this. We're going to do exercise 13-2, exercise 6 on page 345. So as usual, please, as we're going through these, pause the video, do the exercises first, so then you can check your answers. If you just listen to the answers that I give you and write them down, you're not going to get as much out of it if you're not going to remember the information as well, okay? As if you think about the answers first and then check to see if you're correct, okay? Okay, so number 1, what does she like to do? She likes to go swimming. I didn't write the whole sentence, I just wrote the verb phrase, okay? Nancy and Frank like to spend their whole day on the lake with poles in their hands. What is a pole? A pole is like a very long stick. Okay, what would you be doing with a pole on a lake? Go fishing. They like to go fishing. Last summer, Adam went to a national park. Mildred, my cat's going crazy right now. She's excited for grammar. Millie, I think she's chasing a fly. Okay. Adam went to a national park. He slept in a tent and cooked his food over a fire. What did he do last summer? He went camping, or he likes to go camping. Okay, Tim likes to go to the store and buy things. What does he like to do? He likes to go shopping. Laura takes good care of her health. She runs a couple miles every day. What does she do every day? She goes running or she goes jogging. Oh, sorry. On the weekends in the winter, Fred and Jean drive to a resort in the mountains. They like to race down the side of the mountain in the snow. What do they like to do? They like to go skiing, right? I don't think that's much of a sport here. I don't know, is there any place to ski here? I know in Dubai, I think they have like an indoor mountain with snow. We do that, people do that in the mountains in California a lot. It's really famous in Colorado, Switzerland as well. But it's kind of, it's like a fancy sport. It's like for like rich people. All right, number 7, Ivan likes to take long walks in the woods. What does he like to do? He likes to go hiking. Me too, it's one of my favorite activities actually. Sonia prefers indoor sports. She likes to go to a place where she rolls a 13-pound. 13 pounds, I would say, in kilos is probably about 5 kilos. Okay, so a 5-kilo ball at some wooden pins. This is what we name these things in the sport. You'll see it, you'll know it when you see it. Go bowling, right? So you roll the ball and it knocks over some things made of wood. Those like long white things that are like this shape. That's called going bowling. Okay, Liz and Greg know all the latest dances. What do they probably do a lot? They probably go dancing. Okay, the Taylors are going to a little lake near their house tomorrow. The lake is completely frozen now that it's winter. The ice is smooth. What are the Taylors going to do tomorrow? They are going to go ice skating or go skating. Was that an option? Yeah, go skating or go ice skating. Okay, Mariko and Taka live near the ocean. There's a strong wind and they like to spend the whole day in their sail, but what do they like to do? They like to go sailing. It's a certain special kind of boat that just moves from the wind. Tourists often get on tour buses that take them to see interesting places in an area. What do they do on the tour buses? So what is the name of it if you go around a city and you see all the famous places or the historical places? This is called going sightseeing. They go sightseeing. Colette and Ben like to jump out of airplanes. Crazy. They don't open their parachutes until the last minute. What do they like to do? We call this going skydiving. They like to go skydiving. Okay? And then what do you like to do for exercise and for fun? Well, out of these ones, myself, I like to go swimming. I like to go hiking. And I love going camping. I've never been camping yet in Saudi Arabia though. But who knows, maybe if we stay here this summer, I'll go camping. I mean, it's probably going to be hot. I don't know, maybe I'll go like somewhere cooler. That is if they like let us travel between cities. Like, I don't know. Girls from my Janubiyas, tell me, how's the weather in the south in the summer? Is it okay? Do you think I could go camping there? Let me know. I don't know who my southern girls are. I guess Regads and Rimas. And if there's another southern girl, let me know. All right, 13.3. Okay, we already talked about this in the other video, using the infinitive with after specific verbs. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm telling you, you have to memorize these verbs. It's your only option. Okay. So, exercise 9. Let's practice. Okay. So once again, pause the video and complete it with the correct form of the verb. I'll give you a hint. 13.3 is all about the infinitive, so you're going to use the infinitive every single time. So they're just really wanting you to get exposure to seeing this verb used in this way, okay, the infinitive. All right, so I'm planning to go to or to fly to Chicago next week. Hassan promised not to be late for the wedding. My husband and I would love to visit Fiji. What time do you expect to get to Chicago? You seem to be in a good mood today. Nadia appeared to be asleep, but she wasn't. Nadia pretended to be asleep. She pretended not to hear me when I spoke to her. The Millers can't afford to buy a new house. My friend offered to lend me some money. Tommy doesn't like broccoli. He refuses to eat it. My wife and I wanted to do different things this weekend. Finally, I agreed. So here you could either say to watch or to go to a movie with her. And then for the other one, you could also say, and she agreed to watch or to go to the football game with me, however you interpret it. I try to get to class on time every day. I can't wait to see my family again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. And I learned how to tell time when I was 6. What does that mean, to tell time? This means that you can look at the clock, like the circle clock that has, you know, like the two hands in the different directions, and you can say, oh yeah, it's 5:30, right? Or it's 7:45. Okay, next one. Okay, so this is exciting. We have some verbs. So some verbs we only use the gerund after, some verbs we only use the infinitive after, but some verbs we can use both either the gerund or the infinitive. And if you take a look at these, they maybe have something in common, okay? So the first three, we have begin, start, and continue, right? So these talk about either like initiating an activity or being in an activity. And then we have words of preference, like, love, hate, or can't stand. What does can't stand mean? It's the same as hate, right? If you can't stand something, you absolutely hate it. I don't know. I can't think of anything that I can't stand. Oh, I can't stand gossip, right? It's not nice. It makes you feel bad and it makes other people feel bad, and it's just bad all around. All right, so let's practice with this. Exercise 13. I have 8 sentences, and they want you to decide which form of the verb. So A in every sentence is the base form, B is the gerund, and C is the infinitive. Okay, so take a look, pause the video, and choose the correct form. Okay, and then we'll check. So number 1 is done. It started snowing or to snow. Number 2, I continued working, or I continued to work. Okay. Number 3, I like getting, or I like to get emails from my friends. Number 4, I would like, number 4, I made a mistake actually. Cancel. So number 4, you should actually say, I would like to get, right? An email from my son who's away at college, right? Would like is different than like. What does would like mean? Would like means want, right? I would like a cappuccino. I want a cappuccino. Okay, so I'm really sorry. B is not correct, actually. Only C, only the infinitive for number 4. That was my mistake. Okay, number 5. I love going or to go to baseball games. Number 6. I would love. Okay, so would love is similar to would like. Okay, so here we have it written correctly. I would love to go to the baseball game tomorrow. I hate talking, or I hate to talk to pushy people. Pushy people are people who always try and make you do what they want, right? People who sell, in America at least, I don't know about in Saudi, but people who sell cars are famous for being really pushy, right? You go, you just want to look at a car, and then they really say like, no, come on, you have to buy this one. I'll give you the discount, or I'll tint your windows for free, or this or that. That you really feel like they're forcing you to do something, okay? And then I can't stand, which can't stand means I hate, waiting in line, or I can't stand to wait in long lines. Both of them are the same. Okay? All right, so we're going to practice everything we've learned so far in the chapter with exercise 14. So please, once again, pause the video, and you're going to complete each sentence with either the gerund or the infinitive, okay? All right, so let's check. Number 1, we finished eating around 7. My roommate offered to help me with my English. I'm considering moving to a new apartment. Some children hate going or to go, right? We could use either here, to school. What seems to be the problem? I don't mind living with 4 roommates. My boss refused to give me a raise, so I quit. That's not what I meant. I meant to say just the opposite. Julia can't stand sleeping or to sleep in a room with all of the windows closed. And Max seemed to want to leave the party, but he kept talking anyway. And Sam's tomato crop always failed. Finally, he quit trying to grow tomatoes. Is that it? Yeah, that's it for number 13. Okay? All right, so we're going to move on then and look at 3.5. So this is a rule we already talked about in the previous video, using a preposition with the gerund, right? So here they give a lot of just examples of common verbs and prepositions. And I will probably, when I'm creating your quiz, stick with these verbs and prepositions, right? Just to make it easier for you. Okay, so to practice with this, we're going to look at exercise 19. This is fun. They want you to match the beginning of the sentence with, they want you to add the preposition and then put the verb into the correct form. Okay, so what form of the verb do I always use? What form of the verb do I always use after preposition? The gerund. Okay, so in every one of these sentences, the verb is going to be in the gerund. So you're just going to add the correct preposition and then put the verb into the gerund. Okay, so thank you. Oh, sorry, number 1. I'm looking forward to going away for the weekend. Thank you for holding the door open. I'm worried about being late. Are you interested in going to the beach? I apologized for being late. Are you afraid of flying in small planes? Are you nervous about taking your driver's test? We are excited about seeing the soccer game. Okay, so I know I would get this question in class. They would say, yeah, miss, can't you also say I'm excited to see? Yes, you can. Okay, so what's the difference between I'm excited about seeing and I'm excited to see? The idea is essentially the same, right? We can just use excited about with the preposition, and then you could also use the preposition or use like any noun after. I'm excited about the game. I'm excited about the movie later. I'm excited about the party, right? I'm excited about seeing the game, right? After this is kind of like, you can kind of almost see the common rule, right? After about, we always need a noun. And we learned in the last sentence as well. Mildred, خلاص. She's like scratching the wall. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we always, if we're going, the first rule for using the gerund is if I'm using the verb as a noun, right? So if I need a noun, but I need to put a verb there, I would just always use the gerund form, okay? All right, number 9, Tarek insisted on paying the restaurant bill, right? Ava dreams of becoming a veterinarian one day. I don't feel like eating right now. Please forgive me for not writing. So the negative way of doing this would just be putting not in front of verb ing, okay? I am tired of living with 5 roommates. I believe in being honest at all times. Let's plan on meeting. Who is responsible for cleaning the classroom? The police stopped us from entering the building, and Jake is not very good at cutting his own hair, okay? So that's, I think, all of the practice we're going to do with that one. 21, I'm going to give you for homework. But we'll get to the end there, okay? All right, so next one. 3-6, right? Using by or with to talk about how something is done, the way we do something. Okay, so let's take some time and look at the box, okay? Pat turned off the TV by pushing the off button. How did she turn off the TV? By pushing the button, okay? Mary goes to work by bus, right? And then Andrea stirred her coffee with a spoon. Okay, so by, once again, is talking about how we do something here. How does she go to work? By bus. If you want to talk about a tool that something used, so either a tool or maybe a body part, then you would use by, okay? Sorry, with. So here we have some examples for transportation or communication, right? By airplane, by boat, by bus, by car, blah, blah, blah. To communicate, you can communicate by email, talk by phone, communicate by fax. Oh, and then they have like travel by air, travel by land, travel by sea, okay? Other uses of by are by chance. That means on accident. So for example, you could say like, oh, I saw my cousin by chance at the grocery store. Like I wasn't planning on it, it just kind of happened. By choice, for example, none of us are staying home by choice, right? We're staying home because there's a pandemic going on and the government's telling us we have to stay home, right? I turned in the wrong assignment by mistake, right? It was on accident. Okay, by hand, if you do something by hand, that means that you do it yourself. For example, I could say, oh, I made this shirt by hand, right? I actually sewed the shirt myself. My friend, one of my best friends is Italian, and I went to stay with her and her family in Italy, and her mom would make pasta by hand, right? She would not even use a machine. She would just like make the pasta dough and then like roll it out and like put it in the water. It was delicious. Okay, by check, we're not even going to talk about that because nobody uses checks anymore, or you can pay by credit card, right? If you're saying cash though, you pay not by cash, you pay in cash, okay? We use with for instruments or tools or parts of the body, right? I cut down the tree with an axe, right? She swept the floor with a broom, or she pointed to a spot on the map with what? With her finger, okay? All right, so let's take a look. Exercise 24, nice and easy. They want you to complete all of the sentences with the preposition by, and then the gerund, right? Because the gerund always comes after a preposition. So 355, exercise 24. Students practice written English by writing compositions. We clean our clothes by washing them in soap and water. Khaled improved his English by watching a lot of TV. We show people we are happy by smiling. We satisfy our hunger by eating something. We quench our thirst by drinking something. I figured out by quench means by guessing, right? So quench your thirst is like the same as satisfy your hunger, but it's for thirst, right? It means it makes your thirst go away, your desire for water go away. And Alex caught my attention by waving his arms in the air. Oh, we have more. How exciting. My dog shows me she's happy by wagging her tail. So when the dog's tail goes like this, when they're excited, it's called wagging. And Carmen recovered from her cold by staying in bed and taking care of herself. Okay? All right, so exercise 25, we have tools, right? A broom, a hammer, a needle and thread, a pair of scissors, a saw, a shovel, a spoon, and a thermometer. So if you don't know what any of these tools are, pause the video please and translate them, look them up so that you can complete the next exercise, okay? So we're just using with for all of these. I swept the floor with a broom. I sewed a button on my shirt with a needle and thread. I cut the wood with a saw. I took my temperature with a thermometer. I stirred cream in my coffee with a spoon. I dug a hole in the garden with a shovel. I nailed 2 pieces of wood together with a hammer. And I cut the paper with a pair of scissors, okay? All right, and last one here, you're going to choose, should you use with or should you use by? I opened the door with a key. We went downtown by bus. I dried the dishes with a dish towel. I went from Frankfurt to Vienna by train. Ted drew a straight line with a ruler. Rebecca tightened the screw in the corner of her glasses with her fingernail. I called Bill Paul by mistake. It's like on accident. I sent a copy of the contract by fax. I don't think anyone actually uses fax anymore. I don't know when this book was published. They're talking about faxes and checks. It's so outdated. Nobody needs to like know about that. It's weird. Anyways, now you know, in case anybody ever asks you. Talia protected her eyes from the sun with her hand, and my grandmother makes tablecloths by hand. Tablecloth is like the fabric you put over the table to maybe protect it. So she makes them herself. She like sews them. That's pretty cool. I would like to make a tablecloth. All right, and then we just have a little bit left. We're almost done. 13.7. So this is kind of similar to the rules that we talked about in the other video, right? Here we have 2 examples. Riding horses is fun. So here we have the gerund. And it is fun to ride horses. And here we have the infinitive. Why did I use the gerund in A? Riding horses is fun. Because it's the subject, right? I'm using the verb as a noun. Why did I use the infinitive in B? It is fun to ride horses. Because I'm using it after an adjective, okay? Coming to class on time is important. It is important to come to class on time, okay? Same thing. All right, so this is fun. They give you the sentence either using the infinitive or using the gerund, and they want you to switch it to the opposite way, okay? So the first one uses the infinitive after an adjective, and they want you to change it to use the gerund, right? It's hard to meet people here. Meeting people here is hard. It takes time to make friends here. Making friends here takes time. It is easy to get around town. Getting around town is easy. Is it expensive to living here? Oh, it should be a question actually. So this says living here is expensive. What would the question be? The question would be, is living here expensive, right? And finally, part 2, right? So they give you the gerund and they want you to write it with the infinitive. Finding things to do on the weekend is hard. It is hard to find things to do on the weekend. Walking alone at night is dangerous. Oh, I should write, it's dangerous to walk alone. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention, I think. Coño. All right, so number 7, I wrote it wrong, but it should say exploring this town is fun. It is fun to explore this town. And number 8, is finding affordable housing difficult? Is it difficult to find affordable housing, right? So number 6 and 7, I forgot to translate, or not translate, but switch the other way. So it should be, it is dangerous to walk alone at night, number 6, and number 7, it is fun to explore this town, right? And then number 8 is the question, is it difficult to find affordable housing, okay? All right, and then I think we have, one more, and then that's it for chapter 13. We're just doing 13.1 through 13.8. Pretty easy. Okay, so using infinitive with it, and then for. So all of these, what do these have in common, right? You should study hard. It is important for you to study hard. We're focusing on this sentence. Mary should study hard. It is important for Mary to study hard. We don't have to go to the meeting. It isn't necessary for us to go to the meeting. And a dog can't talk. It is impossible for a dog to talk. Okay, so all of these, you'll notice, important, necessary, impossible. What part of speech are all of these? These are adjectives. Okay, so once again, I'm using the infinitive after an adjective, but I'm putting a prepositional phrase for, so whoever this is directed to, with a person, right? So for you, for Mary, for us, for a dog. Okay. And here are the answers. I gave them all to you actually for number 31, right? Let's just look at these. Students should do their homework. It's really important for students to do their homework. Teachers should speak clearly. It's very important for teachers to speak clearly. We don't have to hurry. There's plenty of time. It isn't necessary for us to hurry. It's impossible for a fish to live out of water. It is necessary for parents to budget their time carefully. It is difficult for a young child to sit for a long time. It is traditional for my family to spend birthdays together. Will it be possible for my brother to travel to Mars? And is it easy for you to understand Mr. Alvarez? Okay. All right, so that is all for, I think that was pretty easy. If you want to practice any of these, you're more than welcome to, and I would recommend even, doing the exercises in the workbook and then checking your answers there. Of course, at any time, if you need clarification on any of this, please hit me up on WhatsApp and I will respond ASAP, okay? So for this one, you also have homework. So the other homework is due on Tuesday. This homework is due on Wednesday at 11 p.m. In the student book, so in this book that we were looking at, exercises 15 and 16 on page 350. Let me check, what was that exactly? So yeah, these were just reviews of the first half of the chapter, 13.1 to 13.4. And then exercise 21 is more practice with using prepositions and gerunds, okay? So you're gonna just upload the answers onto or write the answers onto a document and upload that document onto Blackboard. All right? Okay, so we're gonna have a quiz soon, so please let me know if you have any questions in the meantime, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day and a great week. Bye. Mwah.